I'm Lauren Whitehurst. I'm a certified personal trainer and certified nutrition coach.
Hi, I'm Sunny Lippincott. I'm a certified professional life coach and a certified brain health professional. And together we make
Whole Life Vitality. We teach whole life vitality of the mind, body, and soul, bringing the physical, emotional, and spiritual together for whole life wellness. Welcome back, my friends.
Welcome.
Oh my goodness, it is so good to see you. It's
Yeah.
been a minute.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
It has been a minute. Lots of stuff happening.
Seriously, a series of life-changing events last time.
Unfortunate events
Oh my
like
gosh.
Lemony Snicket.
Yeah, exactly.
Series of unfortunate events.
Last time we talked, we had lost a friend, and we've just had more, I think, pile on since that. But that is not what we are here to talk to you about today. What we are here to talk to you about, my friend, is comparison goggles. Oh. Have you ever put those things on, the comparison goggles, and you're like, I was feeling so good about myself.
And then I got on Facebook.
And then I went to an event and someone commented on my body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or you went into the Target dressing room, and what is it about the lighting and the mirrors in dressing rooms? Oh my gosh. It's as bad as the mirrors in cars. You know what I'm talking about?
I completely agree.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's
So
completely distorted.
So you could be feeling great and you go try some clothes on and you turn around in the dressing room mirror and you're like, whoa.
When I put on swimsuits at Target, I look in the mirror and think, I didn't think that I looked like this. Am I delusional?
So what we're saying is this can happen based on like someone saying something complimentary or based on, us seeing something in a distorted manner.
Because what if where you are right now is the ideal body? What if your body was the body that they use as the beauty standard? Your face, your hair, your skin, your body, every single thing about you was what people used as the beauty standard to go by. Then what?
Yeah. Well, initially I was thinking, oh, that'd be great. But then second hand thought was pressure. Oh my gosh, that's so much pressure.
So much pressure, because then you're like, well, I could never change. And again, that just comes back to our insecurities.
Right.
And the reason why we have those insecurities is because of comparison.
Yeah.
Because we are comparing ourselves to a standard that maybe someone made up, maybe doesn't even exist.
Yeah. So this came about because I think, like we've been mentioning, and this is going to come up probably in the next, I don't know actually how long in our podcast, you're going to hear the word grief. Because
For a while.
because grief, I'm learning, is impacting every area of my life.
Yeah.
And it's ugly, but it's real. And I feel like it needs to be brought to light. So with all of that, another thing that grief has done, it's thrown off a lot of my routine. I kind of went through this doing things a certain way, and then grief came in and it kind of shook my world.
Yeah.
And so we all have something that we kind of almost like a vice that we fall into whenever we get overwhelmed or stressed or, upset. And
It's a coping mechanism or something that gives us a sense of control.
Absolutely.
So we feel like, well, I can't handle any of these big things that I'm feeling, but I can handle this one thing.
yes. And so you seem to hyper focus on it. And so, anyone that's listened to us know that Lauren and I have, with self-esteem, a whole background into eating disorders and, really diluted thinking around, our bodies. And so that's kind of the thing that the enemy has been throwing at me with this grief.
Yeah.
That was what I held on to when I was deep in eating disorder in my early 20s, was the world felt out of control. So I kind of hyper focused on something that I could control.
Right.
And so it's been one of those things with me fighting this with grief. And so that came up. that's, just being brutally honest here, that came up into my world. And I've had to share with Lauren the things that I've been thinking, because used to in my 20s, I didn't know that bringing it to light would be helpful. I thought, oh, shame, let me hide
Yeah,
this.
it just feels shameful, because anytime that you say anything about yourself that you're like, oh, well, they might think that I'm a bad person,
Yeah.
that I am a horrible human being,
Yeah.
inherently awful.
I don't want to bring this to light.
Right.
It's embarrassing, and it means I'm a failure.
Right.
And so with now, I'm like, I'm thinking these things, and I'm going to I'm going to
Remove
share 'em.
the power.
I'm going to remove the power from it. But the places that I've gone is sometimes we can compare ourselves to other people, but sometimes we can also compare ourselves to an older version of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 40. I'm actually almost, I'll be 41 in the summer. So it's easy for me at 40. If you're not there yet, I'm about to share something you might not know. Your body changes as you age.
Yes, it does. Well, given that I don't have the same body that I had when I was 3, then I think it's pretty obvious that our bodies change over
They do.
time.
They
But I think
change.
that your body makes big leaps at certain stages.
It does.
And if you have children or you're around children, you see those big leaps happen very quickly because they happen in close succession as they grow.
Yeah.
And then again, another big one around puberty. And then you see bodies change again in their 20s generally.
Yeah.
And then again in your 30s. And then again in your 40s and your 50s. In those big leaps, you're like, oh my gosh, I thought that I was this person. I thought that my body worked this way. I thought I knew myself pretty well. And then one day you're like, who is this? You look in the mirror and you don't even recognize yourself. It's
You can
weird.
do everything the same.
It's weird.
Change nothing, but your body structure kind of changes. And so we've really me and Lauren, we're the same age. We've noticed this at 40, that our body structure started changing.
Yep.
We were doing everything the same, eating the same, exercising the same, and then hormones kind of hit. Well,
The dreaded H word.
yeah, the dreaded H word. But what happened in me is because I was sitting in grief and my situations changed, and my morning routines changed and my workout routines changed, because I kind of pressed pause on my life a little bit. Well, that's all that was needed for this little door to open and comparison step in.
And if you feed the monster even just one little cookie, it rears its big ugly head and gets super excited about all the other things it can feed on.
Yeah. And I just kind of started sitting and feeling bad, and comparing myself to a 20-year-old version of myself.
Yeah.
And I got really kind of insecure about certain parts of me. And so I started hyper focusing on those things about myself and seeing them in other people, noticing other people, and
Seeing the positive in other people.
Yes.
As in, well, look, they have that. I don't have that.
I don't have that.
Okay.
And so what happened is I casually mentioned this to a close friend, and I got, well, number one, she could not believe it.
Yeah.
She could not believe it.
It's pretty shocking to hear other people's insecurities because they just don't even make sense to you.
She said, I've never noticed XYZ about you.
Yeah.
Never. And I said, really? Because I feel like I'm a walking billboard for it right now. And she said, never. Mm-mm. And so we started talking, and this is what, bringing it all back, this is what we're talking about. She told me what she is insecure about, and she looks at it on me and notices that I don't have a problem with that. And I said, wait a second. Wait a second. You're insecure about that? I said, I've never even noticed that on you. And she's like, really? And so I started kind of, thinking through and talking. And so Lauren and I started talking, and she shared with me what she has been like focused on. And I said, are you making that up? Are you serious?
When I was probably 13 years old, I put on a pair of shorts and I walked into my bedroom and I looked in the mirror and my legs were kind of bumpy.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is happening here? I was young. I didn't understand. I'm like, what is going on? So I went into my mom's room and I said, I think I have cellulite. And she was on the phone with a friend and she laughed at me. And she told her friend on the phone, oh my gosh, you won't believe what my daughter just said. And I left. I didn't know how to respond at that point. I was like, okay, well, clearly I'm not going to get any additional information here. So I left the room. And from that, I took away, there's something wrong with my legs. Mm-hmm. There's something wrong with me. Yeah. And this is something that's shameful that if other people see or hear about, they'll laugh at.
And so did it cause you to start looking at your friends' legs?
Every single person I ever met had the most beautiful legs.
And
they had the most beautiful legs. And for me, I wouldn't wear swimsuits without a skirt or shorts. I wouldn't wear shorts in the summer, I wore like longer, like the capri pants or something to cover my legs. I had to cover it because my legs were messed up. And other people's legs were beautiful. So all of these people with these beautiful legs were going to see my messed up legs.
Yeah. And fact of the matter, what was happening is people are looking at Lauren through the eyes of their insecurities. Mm-hmm. So unless someone else is also experiencing the same insecurity, they're looking at her arms thinking, her arms are so toned. I wish I had arms like that. My arms are so flabby. And then someone else is looking at her stomach and saying, oh my gosh, I wish I had her stomach because my stomach is so XYZ. And I wish I had her hair. My hair is thinning and falling out. And so this is what's happening. I so much so that I'm talking to women that are pointing out body parts to me that I didn't even know how to name. That's what what is that even called?
Have you ever heard of the FUPA?
What's a FUPA?
Front upper pelvic area. It's FUPA, front upper pelvic area. It is the area underneath your belly button, like lower down and above your pubic area, where sometimes as we age, not like your little like kangaroo pouch, but underneath that, you get a little bit puffy there. People are insecure about their fupa. There you go. Now you got another one.
I just got so angry in just 3 seconds because that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
And it's so funny because, Sunny, when you told me about your insecurity, my response was, hang on, are you talking about you? You, Sunny Lippincott, you're telling me this is something that you struggle with. And she was like, yes, that is something I struggle with. I went, okay, I just needed to confirm because what?
I'm telling you.
I would have never known.
And we're not trying to like laugh at people's insecurities. We're wanting to bring to light the ridiculousness of what we're telling ourselves, the ridiculous of the story, because
it's a lie.
I have had people share with me the struggles that they're having based on their forehead, based on their armpits. I kid you not, an armpit.
Yep.
Really, an armpit.
Yep.
Their feet. Truly, people that are wearing shoes to the beach and refuse to take their shoes off because of the insecurities around their feet.
Yep.
And all of these things, and they seem so outrageous to me until it comes to me. Yeah. And mine seems real. Theirs are outrageous, but mine's real.
Isn't that so funny? It's true though.
But it wasn't.
Because I look at you and I'm like, you look amazing. Your body is beautiful and perfect. And okay, I know perfect is a big word. I know, but that's, I think, how we see other people.
That's how we see other people.
And so I see that and I think, oh, that's so silly that you would ever think anything negative about yourself. But the reality is we're all sitting in that space.
And it wasn't until like I truly had that conversation with my friend and she pointed out the way that I see other people's
Yeah.
Like how that ridiculous that is. I don't even look at that on you. Well, it's because I was looking at what I'm insecure about on other people.
Yep.
And that's what she pointed out to me. And that's what we're all doing. We're looking at one another through the eyes of our own insecurity, through these comparison goggles. And it's not just, we're talking a lot about the physicality because that's where me and Lauren have been sitting.
And I think a lot of people do that.
Yes. A lot of people do that, but that could really be for everything. You can do that with where you are in the workplace. You can look at other people's finances that way. You can look at other people's talents that way. When someone gets up, I love listening to people sing at church.
Oh my goodness, yes.
That is not my spiritual gift. I have spiritual gifts. I'm not
We all do.
We all do.
You do too.
But that is not mine. And it's so beautiful to me. And I always think, oh my gosh, that's such an incredible spiritual gift. If I had that, I would constantly be singing. The fact of the matter is people are looking at me saying, if I had yours, I would constantly do it.
Right.
But that's what we do. And so you can sit and hear someone, even their spiritual gift, and say, I don't have a spiritual gift. I don't have anything that I can give to God that I can. So we're all sitting in some form of comparison, having these comparison goggles on, which when we do that, when we put them on, what we're basically saying is they're right and I'm wrong.
Right.
They have it figured out and I don't.
Their body is perfect and mine is
they're
imperfect.
good and I'm broken.
They are the standard
Yes.
of what everyone should be, and I am not, because I'm not the same as them.
Absolutely. That's it. And it just gives way for the enemy to keep lying to you and keep you in this place of constant brokenness, and not seeing what is. And so what we're saying today, in order to take off the comparison goggles, it involves action. Like, you see what she just like
take them off.
She has to physically take them off.
Put
so
them
that
down.
is physical action. And so when doing that, you can't just say, stop it. Like, just stop it.
You know what works really well? When you're like, I don't like this about myself. And I'm like, stop it. You're stupid.
Yeah. Just stop it.
I'm like, don't berate yourself for berating yourself. Don't feel bad for feeling bad.
It actually involves an action. In order to get out of that place, to take the goggles off, you have to take action with that, which is, number one, identifying that it's a lie, identifying the lie and what's going on, telling yourself the truth there. So here's the lie that they're right, I'm wrong, I'm broken. That version of me was good, this version of me is bad. That's a lie. You can't shame and hate yourself into health, into mental health,
that is
into
so true.
physical health. And God never talks to you in terms of that. That's not, so when you hear that type of language, that's not how your Heavenly Father is speaking to you.
Yep.
So that means that someone else is speaking to you.
Yep.
So right there is identifying that it's a lie.
And then once you identify it, then you, just like right now, you are trying to confirm everyone is looking at your insecurity. Everyone is. You're like, no, I know they are, because of this and this happened and this happened and this happened. And so I know that I'm wrong and I know that this is bad because of these things.
Yeah.
You shift that, you flip that coin.
Yeah.
And you say, I know that I am great, or that this is real, or this is true because, and you start looking to confirm that reality.
It's a replacement principle. So you're replacing the lie with the truth and saying, you know what, when you're listening to that person sing and you think, I don't have anything. Well, that's not true. It's not true. The word of God said that we are all created for a purpose, on purpose, for a purpose. So and immediately right then saying, you know what? I was fearfully and wonderfully made. I do have strengths and talents. And even getting out a piece of paper and listing the things that people have complimented you about.
Yep.
Maybe you're a good listener. Maybe you always encourage. Maybe you're that person. And this is a spiritual gift. People don't take this. They really should. That person that gives the best gifts. You ever known that person?
Yeah.
Lauren is one of those people, actually.
Well, thank you.
That they just see you and they can always give you this perfect gift that just encapsulates who you are.
Because like you said, it's about seeing people.
Yes.
Because then you feel seen and you feel known
Yes.
and appreciated. And it's not even necessarily that it's an expensive gift or that it is something, that blows everything out of the water. It could be something small, but it's meaningful.
And that's a gift. So writing down those things and, speaking the truth. No, you know what? God has given me gifts and talents and strengths. Or, even saying, spending time in gratitude. Gratitude fights the comparison and takes off those comparison goggles. So spending time in gratitude, saying, you know what? I'm so grateful that I have a body that moves and that takes care of me and that fights for me. Your body is fighting for you all day.
All day, every day. Breathing, pump that blood all around your body, taking care of you, fighting off things that could be coming in. But Sunny, I got to tell you, every single morning I get up, and part of my morning routine is I get on my rebounder. It's my little trampoline, and I jump in because it's wonderful for your lymphatic drainage, but that's a podcast for another day.
Yeah.
And I do it in front of a mirror because in my office where I have my morning routine, I have a mirror, and I jump in front of that mirror. And as I'm jumping, I look at myself and I think, my legs are so strong.
Yes.
Look at what they can do.
Look what they can do.
Look what they can do. They work so well. They got me in here. I am doing this. That's great for myself. And I am getting healthier every time I jump.
It's a replacement.
It's a replacement.
Whatever that lie is, that whether it is a spiritual lie, whether it's a physical lie, whether it's an emotional lie, whatever it is, find the truth. Go to the Bible. There is a spiritual truth for every lie that the enemy is throwing at you. Go to the Bible and find that scripture that combats that lie. Write it down. Write it where you can see it.
So if you were going to go hunting for a spiritual truth to combat the lie that you've told yourself, how would you look for that?
It's you can actually look up anything that the internet is so wonderful.
The internet is full of stuff.
So whether you're sitting in greed or you're sitting in comparison or you're sitting in anger, whatever those lies are, you can actually even just type that in. And all of these scriptures start coming up. And when I actually, because before the internet, I was an adult. Okay.
You look it up in the back of the book, right?
So I actually went to a counselor, and you can do that too. Yeah. You can reach out to others when you're having issues, and problems going on. You have pastor, you have friends, you have family. And if you don't have those, you have us. So you are welcome to reach out and saying, okay, this is the lie that I'm experiencing. Because whenever I went to therapy for my eating disorder, he didn't give me a life verse. He gave me a life chapter. Psalm 139 was my life chapter. And I was instructed to write it down and to carry it with me. And every time I started having those thoughts about myself, I was to get it out and to read it to myself. And so I was reading it at stoplights. I was reading it in bathrooms. I would go to restaurants and read it in the stall in the bathroom. I would go into my closet. But I had that person there that said, okay, this is the lie, and here's a truth to combat that lie. And we need to change the narrative. So you need to take action. So if you need help, go look it up. Like Google what you're experiencing for scriptures that combat that. But ask if if you're not finding something, ask a friend, ask a relative, ask a pastor,
comment below, or send us a direct message, and we are totally there for you. We are really, really good at seeing people.
Yes. I do this a lot for my clients. We always find them a truth to combat the lie. Always. We always find them a truth. Because that's what you got to do. You have to replace. You've been telling yourself this stuff for so long. And even with me, I got through that in my 20s, but having this, grief knock me down, it somehow wiggled itself back. Now, not to the extent that, of course, that I was experiencing, but it's wiggled itself back in to steal my joy.
It's an addiction.
Yes.
And so like any addiction, when you're weak, when you are not taking good care of yourself, then those thoughts or those actions try to creep back in.
They do. And so maybe that's where you are. You've had something that just shook your world recently, and you've been telling yourself some really ugly things. Let's talk through that. Replacement. Take off the goggles. And it's more than just saying, stop, don't think that. Yeah. You got to replace it with a truth. So let us help. If, reach out to someone. If you don't want to reach out to us, reach out to someone. And Lauren has this beautiful poem that she's going to share with you that I absolutely love.
I wish that I knew who wrote it, because I don't have the author's name. But if this sounds familiar to you and you know the author, please let us know, because I would love to give credit where credit is due. But I found this on the interwebs, where we find all the things. And it says, when you were 12, you wanted a smaller tummy, less body hair, or thinner thighs. When you were 16, you wanted a small waist, a bigger bottom, or a smaller nose. I definitely did. I really wanted a nose job when I was a teenager. When you were 26, you wanted tighter skin, your teenage body back, and to be less wobbly, like jiggly.
Yeah.
Like wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, When you turn 30, you'll realize how cute you were at 26.
Fact.
When you're 40, you'll ask yourself why you ever thought you weren't beautiful at 30.
Fact.
We can speak to that one. When you're 50, you'll just want your joint pain to go away. We're not there yet, but I imagine.
Yeah, I hear my parents.
And when you're 80, you'll realize you regret every time you ever looked at your body with dislike or disgust. You'll wish that you could go back to your old body just for a day to swim, run, jump, and live. Appreciate where you are.
Appreciate where you are.
No matter where you are. Find the joy, find the gratitude there in that space, because anything outside of that,
it's a lie.
It's a lie. It's not serving you.
It's a lie.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here today. If you are wondering where to get started on your wellness journey, we have a wellness guidebook ebook available for you right now that you can check the link below and go ahead and grab for yourself. It will get you jump started on your wellness journey. And when you get it, if you have questions or if you just want support or you want someone to cheer you on, reach out. We're here for you.
We're here.
We'll see you next time, friend.
Bye.